So there was these twin brothers, Romulus and Remus. They were the sons of a virgin, and Mars, the god of war. They were abandoned and sailed through a river, a la Moses, and they were adopted by a she-wolf. They were nursed by it until they were discovered by a farmer and were adopted. When they became adults, they decided to make a city. They chose two separate hills, they argued, they fought, and Romulus killed his brother. So he and his followers founded the city on top of Romulus's hill and called it Rome. And this is where our story starts. So Romulus became the first king of Rome, and Rome was a kingdom for around 244 years, until Lucius Tarquinius Superbus, aka Tarquin the Proud, was overthrown by Lucius Junius Brutus, and a republic was established. During this time, they conquered some territory, fought wars against Carthage, and became urbanized. During the 1st century BCE, a civil war happened between the dictators Sulla and Gaius Marius. I won't tackle on this, all you need to know is that Sulla won. After this, the Romans were pretty traumatized after the civil war, so they tried their best to prevent another civil war. Three powerful people named Julius Caesar, Pompey, and Crassus were like, hey, we have a lot of power, so let's team up and rule Rome with the three of us in charge. So that's how the first triumvirate was created. So they ruled Rome for a few years until Crassus was defeated and killed during his campaign against the Parthians. So the triumvirate ended and Caesar and Pompey became in charge. They began fighting each other after Caesar conquered Gaul, modern-day France, and became very rich and powerful, which led to the Second Civil War. Again, I won't tackle this, all you need to know is that Caesar won. After this, the Romans were pretty traumatized after the Civil War, so they tried their best to prevent another civil war. So after Caesar's victory, the Senate made him a dictator, and gave him a lot of titles and powers. A lot of senators, led by Marcus Brutus, the descendant of Lucius Junius Brutus, Cassius, and Decimus, conspired and assassinated Caesar. After the assassination, Caesar's friend Mark Antony, Caesar's military partner, Lepidus, and Caesar's adopted son, Octavian, formed the Second Triumvirate, and Rome was in another civil war. This time, it was the triumvirate against the conspirators led by Brutus and Cassius. Decimus died sometime after the assassination of Caesar. The triumvirs won, and Rome was split between them. After this, the Romans were pretty traumatized after the civil war, so they tried their best to prevent another civil war. There was peace for a while until Lepidus, in a change of pace, was forced into retirement, so Octavian was in control of Lepidus's land. And then Mark Antony and Cleopatra were engaged and decided to rule Egypt and decreed that parts of Rome will be given to their descendants. This upset a lot of people, so Octavian and Mark Antony fought, leading to another civil war. Again, I won't tackle this subject. All you need to know is that Octavian won, Mark Antony and Cleopatra killed themselves, Rome annexed Egypt, and Octavian was proclaimed emperor, taking the title Augustus. After this, the Romans were pretty traumatized after the civil war, so they tried their best to prevent another civil war. And in a change of pace, they were in peace. Augustus is now emperor of Rome, founding the Julio-Claudian dynasty, and ruled for quite a while. After him, Tiberius ruled as emperor. During this time, Christianity has just started. After him, the mad emperor Caligula took in charge. How mad was he? Well, he made his horse into a consul. By the way, a consul is like a president or prime minister. He ordered a row of spectators to be eaten by bees because there were no more prisoners, turned the palace into a brothel, and he was a pervert. He was assassinated and was replaced by Claudius, and then later by Nero, who was also as insane as Caligula but not that much. YouTuber Jack Rackham made an excellent video about him, so go check it out. After Nero, in the year 69 AD, there was some turmoil in the empire, as this year was also known as the year of the 4 emperors, because there were 4 emperors in a year. Vespasian emerged as victor and emperor and founded the Flavian dynasty. The dynasty ruled for a while until it was replaced by the Nerva-Antonine dynasty, which included the 5 good emperors, which saw the largest extent of the empire, stretching from England in the north to Africa in the south, then Portugal in the west, to the Middle East in the, east. After the death of Marcus Aurelius, and during the reign of Commodus, Rome began to decline. 235 began what is called the crisis of the 3rd century, where it saw different generals proclaim themselves as emperor. After that whole fiasco, the Emperor Diocletian introduced the tetrarchy, or the rule of 4. This means the empire is now ruled by 2 senior emperors, called the Augustus, and 2 junior emperors, basically their successors, called the Caesars. This system failed and fighting resumed until Emperor Constantine restored order and later converted to Christianity, the first emperor to do so, and later Christianity became the official religion of the whole empire. He split the empire into 2 between his 2 sons and moved the capital to Constantinople. The western half of the empire continued to struggle until it completely collapsed in 476, after Emperor Romulus Augustus was forced to abdicate by Odoacer. This is seen by many as the end of the Roman Empire, despite the fact that the Eastern Roman Empire was still intact. The Eastern Roman Empire, later called as the Byzantine Empire by historians, lasted for another millennia, until its collapse and later conquest by the Ottomans, but that's another story for another time. In the year 800, Pope Leo III crowned Charlemagne as Emperor of the West, which later became the Holy Roman Empire. But again, that's a story for another time. This is the abridged history of Rome and the Roman Empire. Hope you enjoyed the video, and thank you for watching.